Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of light and secret knowledge wherever you may be, you are listening to Points of Light Radio, the podcast dedicated to taking you past the apron and behind the closed doors of lodges everywhere. And here is your host, Stan Miller.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. It's great to be here in the room with you again on Points of Light Radio. And here on Points of Light Radio, we're going to continue with our journey by fellowshipping with a gentleman named Jamie James. Mr. James is the Grand Master of the United Order of Oddfellows in the state of Florida. He's also the past Supreme Monarchos, or Grand Master, of the Ancient Mystic Order of Samaritans, USA, or AMOS. And the Ancient Mystic Order of Samaritans is what he's here to talk about today. Now, to give you a little bit of background on the Ancient Mystic Order of Samaritans, or AMOS, this is an appendant body of the Oddfellows. Now, if you recall, I covered the Oddfellows in a previous segment of Points of Light Radio, and I urge you to go back and look at that. I interviewed a gentleman named Davey Wiggers. Now, AMOS meet in lodges known as sanctorums. And AMOS has existed in a variety of forms and under multiple names. It was first founded in 1876 as the Order of Humility. Now, over time, the Order of Humility was amalgamated with other appendant bodies of the Oddfellows to form the Ancient Mystic Order of Samaritans in 1925. Now, perhaps my guest or a future guest will shed a little light on that amalgamation process. But what are we waiting for? Let's go fellowship with Mr. James. And if you're still hungry for light and you're still thirsty for knowledge, which I'm sure you are, just trim your lamp and follow me. Okay. Jamie James.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Welcome to Points of Light Radio.
Oh, I'm glad to have you, man.
You are the past Supreme Monarchos of the Ancient Mystic Order of Samaritans, USA.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you tell my listeners and viewers about yourself?
What was that?
Why don't you tell my listeners and viewers about yourself?
I've been a member of AMOS and the Oddfellows for almost 20 years now. Kind of funny story how I got involved. A friend of mine kind of invited me out, and I was new to Florida at the time, and I came out here, and there was a great bunch of guys, and I met a lot of people and made a lot of contacts. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of cool, having a lot of fun. So decided to come back and check it out, and been here ever since. So yeah, that's kind of my story. But yeah, I'm really involved with the order. It's a great group of guys here, not only here in Florida, but throughout the United States. Made a lot of friends over the years. Visited a lot of places. Get to travel. I don't travel extensively because I still work full time and all that stuff. But I've done quite a bit of traveling, and I really enjoy it. I really do. There's a lot of great people out there.
Yeah. So, what exactly is the Supreme Monarchos?
The Supreme Monarchos for the Ancient Mystic Order of Samaritans is equal to like the Sovereign Grand Master. I was basically in charge of the whole United States and Canada.
Okay, so what exactly would you do in a role like that?
I visit other sanctorums across the United States and Canada. I help institute new sanctorums, recruit members. I run the Supreme meeting in August. And any kind of issues or questions or something like that comes up. Whatever's needed.
Well, and I was going to ask you about that as well. Are the number of sanctorums growing, or?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Really?
During my term between 2019 and 2022, I instituted 3 brand new sanctorums.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to
Even that was even during COVID.
And I am finding that amazing that some of these fraternal organizations actually grew during the COVID pandemic. That's just
and unfortunately, because of COVID, we did lose some sanctorums. It's a lot of our fraternal organizations, not only with AMOS, but even with Oddfellows, it's comprised a lot of the elderly, people in retirement and stuff like that, and that the COVID really affected a lot of that. So, we did lose some sanctorums during the COVID, but we also gained a few. So,
okay. And how long did it take you to reach the Supreme Monarchos?
It's been it took a while. There's different levels to AMOS, just like there is with Oddfellows. You have your local sanctorums, which you can sit through all the different chairs, just like when you work your way up to becoming a noble grand. Once you achieve the Grand Monarch, which is just like the noble grand at your local, you can start joining or participating in the division. So in our case, we had the Southeastern Division, which was compromised of, we had 4 or 5 sanctorums in Florida at the time. You sit there all the different chairs, and then you become the Divisional Supreme Monarchos. After that point, you can, even during that point, you can join or you can attend the Supreme Sanctorum, which happens every August. But once you get involved in Supreme Sanctorum, you can sit through all the chairs, and eventually you become Supreme Monarchos. I started attending the Supreme Sanctorum probably about 5 or 6 years ago. You start out as Prince. From Prince, you go to Counselor. From Counselor to Khalifa, and from Khalifa to Supreme Monarchos.
Okay, tell us about the ancient mystic order of Samaritans. Like, what are the qualifications, shall we say, to join?
To become a member of the ancient mystic order of Samaritans, you have to be an Oddfellow.
Okay.
It can be any branch of Oddfellows, Independent Order of Oddfellows, Grand United, any branch of the Manchester Unity, any branch of the Oddfellows. But you have to be an Oddfellow to join AMOS.
Okay, but you have to, I understand there's 3 degrees to the Oddfellows. Do you have to be a 3rd degree Oddfellow to get join right from 1st degree?
No, you don't. As long as you're an Oddfellow, you can join AMOS.
So you can actually have your initiatory degree in the Oddfellows and then go join AMOS right away, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, some places make you, okay.
Yeah, I think that's a preferential thing, but it's not a rule.
Okay. And what exactly does AMOS do?
Each sanctorum is different, but with our sanctorum, we're just like the Oddfellows. In fact, pretty much all of our members from our home Oddfellows Lodge, we kind of cohabitate with the events that we do. We do a Christmas parade every year. We do the Mardi Gras parade every year. We do a nursing home visit every December for Christmas. One of our members dresses up as Santa. We get 3 or 4 guys that go along. We pass out candy, a stuffed animal, cards to every member, every resident of the nursing home. We also do a food drive in December. We've actually been featured on West 2 News, which is NBC News. We've done a food drive every year for countless numbers of years. We start usually late October, early November, collecting food from all of our members. Everything's based on donations. And then we show up and do a big, huge donation. And it all goes to Second Harvest Food Bank.
Well,
and then also throughout the year, we sponsor Meals on Wheels. We do a fundraiser for the local elementary school. So we do, pencils, books, and notepads and stuff like that for the local elementary school. We sponsor a youth softball league. All kinds of, whatever we can do to help out in our community, just like with the Oddfellows.
Well, let's talk about the AMOS degrees. I understand there's two. What are the names?
You have when you first join, you become a Samaritan, and then after that, you can only take the second degree either at a divisional or the Supreme Sanctorum, and that's called the Perfection degree. Once you take the Perfection degree, you go from a yellow tassel to a red tassel, and instead of becoming a Samaritan, you're now called a sheik.
Okay. Is there a little ceremony for each degree?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what do they follow? Kind of a storyline, a play? Format?
Yes. Yeah. There's a when you do the degree work. Well, you have your initiatory degree. There's almost like the initiatory degree for Oddfellows. There's a whole play. It has props and stuff like that. Same thing with the Perfection degree. We have props that it tells a story from start to finish.
Well, what about how long does it take to reach each degree? About a year? You like I said, you can once you join, you can take your Perfection degree either at a divisional meeting, which happens once a year, or the Supreme meeting, which happens once a year. Okay.
The actual degree work, it probably takes about, depending on how many props and stuff like that you use, the initiatory degree probably takes about 45 minutes or so. The Perfection degree probably takes about an hour and a half.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Do AMOS
and each sanctorum, depending upon how many members they have, obviously some of the bigger sanctorums you can put on a more, with more props and more animation and stuff like that.
Okay.
Whereas the smaller ones might be limited to how many people and players and stuff like that they have.
Okay. Does AMOS allow women into its sanctorum?
No, we do not. Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
The women have their own group. They're called Lodo, or Ladies of the Orient.
Okay.
But we are completely separated.
Okay. And no plans to change that anytime soon? Okay. What do you feel AMOS has done for you?
I like I said, I've gained a lot of friends. I find myself becoming more involved with my community. I find new charities and stuff like that to donate to, new things to participate in. Just not even, I think it was right before COVID, one of our members suggested doing a river cleanup, which is, I had not even thought about that, because we're right on the coast, and we have the intercoastal waterway, like not even a half a mile away. And he suggested we all get together and do a river cleanup one day. And we got together and we did a huge river cleanup. I mean, we must have found probably a couple of 100 pounds worth of debris. I mean, everything from tires to fencing to just general trash. And that's something that I wouldn't have really even thought about. But, now that I'm involved, I think, that came up with, that's a great idea. And now I'm all for doing it every year. So, we come up with new ideas and stuff like that all the time.
Nobody got eaten? You got alligators down there.
Yeah, we got alligators, but nobody got eaten.
Okay. Well, for those who are thinking of joining, what would you say to them if they were thinking about joining? How would you recommend it to them?
AMOS is called the Playground of Odd Fellowship because we're a fun group.
That's good.
Oddfellows can be fun for sure. But of course, you have a ritual, you got to follow it. We're very serious about our rituals. We're very serious about our degrees. We're very serious about all the work that we do. AMOS is a little bit more fun. You can put on a degree and you can have a little fun with it. You can change the ritual a little bit. You can add little things here and there. But it's more about having fun. It's not quite as serious. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, we are serious about our degrees and we're serious about our work, but it's a lot more fun. So I would certainly encourage anybody who's an Oddfellow to join AMOS.
Yeah, and so you say it has added to your Oddfellow experience.
Oh, yes, very much so.
It's wonderful. Well, Mr. James, I do appreciate your time today and for staying up a little longer down there so you could accommodate this.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate that. And all the best to you and your sanctorum.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to be a part of your show. And hey, if you ever want to interview me for the Grand United Oddfellows, please give me a call. I'll be happy to do that.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
All right, thanks. Have a good day.
Jamie James, brothers and sisters. I've said this before. I think that next to the Freemasons, the Oddfellows are probably one of the oldest fraternal organizations there is. In the ancient mystic order of Samaritans, sounds like the fun side of Odd Fellowship, as he puts it. And there's nothing wrong with that, is there? And I want to close off by saying here that it's always a pleasure bringing these guests to you here on Points of Light Radio. Unfortunately, I do have another guest that I have to be fellowshipping with here very soon. So I'm going to have to part with you here. But before I go, I want to remind you that this podcast is available on both YouTube and Spreaker. Please share, like, and subscribe when viewing Points of Light Radio on YouTube. You can follow Points of Light Radio on my Facebook page at facebook.com/Points of Light Radio. My Twitter handle is at PO Light Radio. You can see the link to my Spotify channel and my Points of Light Radio store in the details section of this particular segment. I also want to point out that Points of Light Radio is available to advertise your fraternal store or event. But until we meet again, brothers and sisters, just step into the light.